puts it up. Michael Jordan. Oh, my goodness. Got it. Unbelievable. Green's two-putt as good as it gets.
And we welcome you to True TV. We are in San Jose, California, the heart of the Silicon Valley. And we are set for a 12-5 matchup. The Cal Bears, the 12 seed coming out of the Pac-12 against the 5 seed UNLV, the Runnin' Rebs. And this is the upper half of the East bracket. UNLV, California, the winner advances. And they'll match up against the winner of Syracuse and Montana a little bit later on True TV. And hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Dan Bonner. Great to have you with us. And interesting, Dan, that we have a rematch here from the regular season in Cal and UNLV. Went right down to the end.
Yeah, it went right down to the end. And if we're lucky, and if the viewers are lucky, that's exactly what we'll see today. Although, has to be said, Brian, that was a December game. These teams are entirely different.
A lot of changes in personnel and style as well. Let's talk about UNLV. The Rebs have one of the beasts of the Mountain West in Anthony Bennett.
Wow, and this was a guy who was just brand new to college basketball, Anthony Bennett, back in the December game, and his game has really developed. He can be a powerful inside presence, but he's also an outstanding three-point shooter. If he gets down inside, he is a load to handle, and I think that this is a guy that's got to play well for UNLV, not only to win today, but to make any sort of a run in the tournament at all.
Well, he had a great game back in December, just destroyed Cal in the paint. Cal counts on 2 scores, Cobbs and Krabs, and these are a couple of guys that every day bring big point production for Mike Montgomery.
Yeah, and they have to. These guys score 51% of the points for the Cal Bears, and so obviously they can't drop off at all. They're going to need some support. They're going to have to get some inside play, but these guys are extremely important.
We are in San Jose. That is 45 miles from Berkeley. Win or go home. It's UNLV and Cal coming up next. Beautiful Thursday in San Jose, and now we're set for game 3 of 4 here today at the Shark Tank. UNLV and Cal. There's Mike Montgomery, one of the winningest coaches in college basketball, his 5th year at Cal. Has been here since 2008, twice named the National Coach of the Year, took Stanford to a Final Four. And Mike Montgomery's Cal Bears, their 2 big scorers, Justin Cobbs and Alan Crabb. Crabb, the Pac-12 Player of the Year, averages nearly 19 points per game. As for UNLV, Kim Birch will get the start. He wasn't eligible the last time these 2 teams met. Bennett, as we mentioned, a force inside, just a freshman. Caden Reinhardt, also a freshman, the sharpshooter. And there's Dave Rice in his 2nd year, a former Runnin' Reb. He was on that national championship team. Now he's back, replaced Lon Kruger. And he's playing more of an up-tempo style that they are used to in Las Vegas. And we are ready to go here. Brian Anderson with Dan Bonner. Great to have you with us on True TV. The Rebels and the Cal Bears. And right out of the gates, Cal takes it away. And you can hear a pro-Cal crowd here in San Jose. That one is blocked.
And that's what Birch is in the game to do. He is a great shot blocker.
Tyrone Wallace gets the scoring started, the freshman from Bakersfield.
And Birch, of course, didn't play in that first game because he was ineligible. He was still sitting out from his transfer season.
Solomon takes it away. Birch transferred from Pitt. And both coaches talked about the influence that he'll have on this game, especially Dave Rice, saying that'll be a big key. It's interesting that you get a rematch to start the round of 64. These 2 teams matched up December 9th. It was a UNLV victory. On the last possession, they won 76-75. Quintrell Thomas snatched an air ball and a putback to win the game for UNLV. Here's Solomon. And there's Bennett with the rebound. Keep your eyes on the freshman in white, number 15.
And UNLV wants to push it, but they need to push it under control. They need to be able to find Bennett on the inside.
Bennett outside for 3 off the front iron. Solomon certainly disrupted that shot.
Well, Bennett can shoot that shot, but I think he's got to start on the inside. He drifts too much to the outside.
Crabb with a quick release. The top scorer in the Pac-12, and he can do that all day if you let him.
You're coming in as the underdog. The one thing you want to do is get off to a quick start, and the Cal Bears have certainly done that.
Deshaun Jones and Bennett off his hands. Cal basketball.
And Alan Crabb, you mentioned he is the Pac-12 Player of the Year, and he's a guy, he moves without the basketball, and he's a very good three-point shooter. 35% from out there. You cannot leave him alone.
Cal coming off a loss against Utah in the Pac-12 quarterfinals in the tournament. There's Solomon. Well, he could be a huge story for the Bears. Richard Solomon, a junior out of LA, and if he is a factor today, look out. Cal can be tough with that third scorer. Good start for the boys from Berkeley. Quick 7-point burst for the Cal Bears. Now, when these two teams met December 9th, that was at Cal in Berkeley. This is going to feel like a home game for the Bears today, Dan.
Well, certainly Berkeley is close by, although we understand from talking to people it can take 3 hours sometimes to get here, but Solomon didn't take 3 hours to get going in the game. We've talked about the fact that Cal's got to get some inside presence, and Solomon is a guy who can score it in there. Averages a little over 8 points a game, but he's capable of some bigger numbers than that.
Cal lost Jorge Gutierrez, the Pac-12 Player of the Year last year. Harper Kemp. Solomon was academically ineligible at the end of the season last season. It was a quick exit, but they are back, and they are feeling good about where they are right now. Shot clock down to 9, and Deshaun Jones, a sharp shooter for UNLV, connects, gets him on the board.
Now, Brian, Cal has started the game in a zone defense, and UNLV has sort of stood around against that defense.
Crab up top for Solomon. Solomon is here. Averages just over 8 points a game. Pulls down over 6 rebounds, and he's a factor early. And a foul on Cal.
One of the things you have to do if you're the UNLV defense is prevent Crabb from penetrating into the lane. He draws 3 defenders, and that leaves Solomon all alone. A perfect play for the Cal Bears.
Crabb with a foul. That's out of bounds on Solomon. And if you watch Cal all season, you're familiar with his program, you can already tell Solomon is playing with a lot of energy. He's into it.
And he's very engaged, and it really helps you get your big guy a couple of baskets early, how well they tend to play.
Don't forget the family of networks. Check out the games on the top bar, CBS, TBS, and TNT, as Reinhardt connects, the freshman from Los Angeles.
And Reinhardt is a guy who came into the season with the reputation as a shooter, and his shooting percentage has gone up throughout the year. He can really knock down that 3.
Couple of three-pointers, Deshaun Jones and Reinhardt. Here's Solomon, no. Anthony Marshall running the point for UNLV. He's a big guard at 6'3". Marshall looking for Bennett. That Bennett-Crabbish matchup, that was in the favor of UNLV in their first meeting. Bennett just so strong.
But Bennett needs to get the ball closer to the basket than that.
It's Crabb out there, and the rebound by Birch.
I think UNLV would be wise to push this ball up the court before Cal can set the defense.
Deshaun Jones.
Oh my.
Creating his own space, nothing there. Oh, so shifty. Transfer from USC, Deshaun Jones. Just a sophomore. Rebels are back to their run and rebel nickname. They're back to their style under Dave Rice.
That's a good job that time by Marshall, cutting off the penetration of Cobbs.
Cobbs scored over 15 points per game this year. He and Alan Crabb, the top 2 scorers. Wallace, the freshman. And here come the Rebs. Deshaun Jones takes, and down it goes. Acrobatic move to the basket and a foul. And Deshaun Jones and one.
Bryce Jones is a guy who can really get up and down the court, and he is a great finisher in transition, as he shows you right here. Takes the contact, goes under the basket, and UNLV seemingly has recovered early in the game.
UNLV with a fast answer after Cal started with the first 7 points. And now the Powerade sideline report. Here's Marty Snyder. Marty?
Well, Brian, you talked about how close Berkeley is to San Jose. Cal loving it. In fact, they practiced at their gym yesterday, came here for shoot-around, took a 40-minute bus ride, and Justin Cobbs told me, this is awesome. I wish we could do this every week. He said, it's like we're on the road, but we're at home. Our friends and family are here with us, so it's kind of neat. I bet you guys can guess the worst part about it, though, right? They all had to go to class yesterday. They were not happy about that. But, hey, dude, if you're in town, you got to go to class, right?
Nice. I thought I was going to say tickets, but with Berkeley, I get what you're saying here. Got to go to class. Free throws for DeJon Jones, and misfires after making the acrobatic basket on the other end. So Cal started on a 7-0 run. First 7 points. UNLV has clipped off 8 of the last 10 points, and that's where we are. 9-8 Cal. 2 Pac-12 teams here in San Jose, Oregon and Cal as 12 seeds. Oregon certainly didn't feel like a 12 seed. They advanced.
They didn't play like a 12 seed either.
The winner of this game will match up with the winner of Syracuse and Montana, which we will have next here on True TV. Great defense. DeJon Jones and throws a fastball right in the midsection of Alan Crabb.
Now, he wasn't trying to throw it in the midsection. He's just trying to throw it off the offensive player. But this is what we're talking about. UNLV has to do a good job denying that dribble penetration.
Take your base. The 2 freshmen matching up against one another. Wallace and Reinhardt. Now Wallace on DeJon Jones. Elevates. Boy.
DeJon, you get the idea that DeJon Jones is feeling it so far today?
He is a tough draw. He can really elevate on that jump shot. Good old-fashioned jump shot. Cobbs leaves it up there for Kravish. Well, that was a great look on a lob from Cobbs, but Kravish couldn't finish. Marshall the take, using the left. No. It looked like 2 Rebels had it. Cal ball. A little sportsmanship here early, Dan. Gonna like that.
It's a very difficult play, and he's just trying to throw it off Crabb. And then as they go up the court, they sort of shake hands with one another, and Crabb knows he's not trying to do anything to injure him. But it's being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's one of those times when you want your hands down and not up.
Cobbs to Crabb. Here's Ricky Kreklow in the game. He's another player that did not play in that regular season matchup. Transfer from Missouri.
Now, he's played very little this year. Another one of those guys with a foot injury. Seems like we've had a lot of those.
He's played in just 7 games. This is number 8. Oh, get it out. As Birch blocks and UNLV comes away with a basketball. Reinhardt to the basket. Yes. And UNLV 12-9.
And Birch does a great job of that, blocking the shot. So not only does he protect the basket on the defensive end, but UNLV turns that into an easy one going down on the other end. Birch, the defensive player of the year in the Mountain West.
Oh, my goodness. Justin Cobbs from deep range, high arcing 3-pointer. That snaps it 0 for 6 from the field for Cal.
Cal back in that zone.
DeJon Jones, 2 open of a jump shot, and Solomon pulls down the board. Solomon at 6'10". He's just a junior out of Los Angeles.
What we've seen already is that UNLV is much better when they can get out and run on offense. They tend to stand around a little bit in the half-court offense. They like that full-court offense whenever they can get it.
Crabb almost at travel. Robert Thurman travels with it. So first time the ball in Thurman's hands. And he turns it over, all tied at 12. Mike Montgomery's been down this road before. 2 great scores and some defense coming up big for UNLV as Reinhardt on the other end in transition. See the turnover story. A couple already for UNLV. Reinhardt's going to head to the bench. He had Marshall, or check that, Marshall to the bench. Reinhardt stays. And he'll handle the ball here. Anthony Bennett gets a breather.
Bennett has not been a factor thus far in the game. And Cal stays in that zone, a 3-2, 1-2-2 zone look.
Travel. Cal ball. So the third turnover for UNLV. Just a reminder, you can celebrate 75 years of March Madness by voting for your all-time players, teams, and moments of the NCAA tournament. Vote now, ncaa.com/March Madness. New point guard in for Cal, Brandon Smith. Trying to dump it down inside, and Moser knocks it out of bounds.
Now Moser last year was an All-American at UNLV, and his season really took a bad turn in the first game between these two squads. He just had a horrible injury, dislocation of his elbow, and simply has never been the same even once he came back.
Reinhardt from deep range off the front iron, and that'll be Cal ball. Brandon Smith almost touched it. Cal basketball, good one early here. Upper half of the East region from San Jose, all tied at 12. RDJ, thanks. All tied at 12. You see Mike Moser, and Dan talked about the dislocated elbow, and graphic images from that game back on December 9th, and good to see Moser back on the floor. He has been playing, but as Dan mentioned, he hasn't been quite as effective before the injury as he was.
UNLV trying to tighten up the man-to-man defense, and there they get an offensive foul as Thurman sets an illegal screen. But the key for UNLV in this man-to-man defense is to deny dribble penetration. You were talking about the injury to Moser. He dives on the floor after the ball, and that's Justin Cobbs comes in on top of that arm. It's one of those things that's just horrible to look at.
And you thought his season was over at that point, but he's been able to come back. He's played now 21 games since. DeJon Jones for 3. He's off to a great start. Bryce DeJon Jones had 19 points against New Mexico in the Mountain West Championship game. And 10 points already for the sophomore from LA. That was a tripping call. Moser is back. For more on him, we check in with Marty.
Well, and we saw the injury, and I talked to him about it yesterday, and he said, honestly, I felt like my injury kept us from peaking. We had so many new guys on the team. We were finally starting to mesh, and I'm just now getting back into the rhythm and the flow of the game. He said, honestly, I don't think we know who we are. He said, we're just now getting back to who we were last year, and if we catch a good streak, we could be hot in this tournament.
And he's absolutely right about that. Moser missed a lot of the preseason with a hip injury, and then he suffered the injury to his arm, and it's just really been hard for UNLV to put the pieces together.
A guy who produced 14 points a game last year. Kreklow looking for Thurman, and the Thurminator finds some space inside. Fan favorite, Robert Thurman. Well, they played a tight matchup in December, has that feel already. Thomas is fouled.
We talked about Cal getting contributions from their inside players, and Thurman just makes a nice move. One dribble, the fake gets the defense out of the way. And Cal, as we said, they're going to need their inside guys to produce some points to take some pressure off the perimeter. And thus far, the Cal interior players have done exactly that.
Anthony Bennett, Savon Goodman into the game. Bennett returns. UNLV bench giving Dave Rice some valuable minutes down in the paint. Anthony Marshall will back it out. Senior guard. Alec Crabb with 2 early fouls. Was in foul trouble against UNLV in their first matchup. Marshall to the basket. Bennett on the dish, and Bennett finishes.
See, I don't think they can guard him in there, and they've got to do it. UNLV has to do a good job putting him in there and getting him the ball once he establishes that low post position, and there's a traveling violation.
Bennett's first field goal down on the post.
Well, and he's battling for position. It's against his own defense, but right here he blocks off the defensive player, allows the drive to the basket, and then the ball just comes to him. But you know, when you're right down next to the basket and the ball lands in your hands, it's a whole lot easier to score than when you're out beyond the three-point arc.
Yeah, Bennett fired a three-pointer early.
It's not that he shouldn't shoot threes. He's a very good three-point shooter.
Averages over 16 points and over 8 rebounds per game. Anthony Bennett, freshman from Ontario. He's working hard down in the paint. Thomas, the jump hook. Bennett, no. And Kravish comes away with a rebound and a foul on UNLV. Upload with Shaquille O'Neal. It's an all-new comedy where nothing is out of bounds. March 28, 10 p.m. right here on True TV. Upload.
Nothing is out of bounds, huh?
With Shaq. Kreklow spots up. And a rebound from Thomas. Thomas hit the game winner against Cal. Big presence in the paint. And a kick ball. Kreklow got a piece.
And one of the problems that Bennett has had, to be quite frank, at various times this year is he's worked hard to get position inside, and his teammates have not been able to get him the ball when he's open. And that can be very frustrating for a big guy. You work hard, you're open, you don't get the ball. Discourages you from working hard another time down the court.
So you just wonder why that is. As Goodman, no, but there's Thomas tied up. Tyrone Wallace, the held ball, possession arrow belongs to UNLV.
That's a really good rebound, but he had to dribble the ball to get his balance. Ideally, he'd like to be able to bounce right back up with that one, but he was off balance, had to dribble. Nice defensive play by Cal.
Cal with that quick burst early. UNLV responded. Going on a mini run there of 8-2. And now locked up 17-14 as Reinhardt lets it go. And there's Wallace with a rebound and a foul. Save on Goodman, his second foul in very limited minutes. He just checked in.
He's been such a valuable guy off the bench, an energy guy. And that really cuts into their depth when he has to go out of the game with those two fouls.
Bryce DeJean-Jones back in. Alan Crabb on the bench for Cal with 2 early fouls as well. Justin Cobbs running the point.
I think it's really important for Cal, with Crabb on the bench with those 2 fouls, that they stay in the game. You don't want UNLV to get a lot of margin.
Cobbs nothing there. Wallace went up top and poked it out of bounds. Rebel basketball. Kim Birch back in. 14 starts during the regular season. Stan mentioned was ineligible after he transferred from Pitt. Wasn't eligible till the second semester.
Now, he was a mid-season transfer, so his year sitting out ended in December. He's already blocked 2 shots in this game.
Gets it inside to Birch, goes right through his hands. And Solomon comes away with it. Cobbs pushes. Cobbs passing to no one in particular. And they'll reset it. And you wonder about Cal's offense and the flow of their offense without Alan Crabb.
Crabb produces almost 19 points a game, and so it's very difficult to have a flow when you lose a guy like that.
Kreklow, a quick release. He's struggling out of the gate, shooting the ball. DeJean-Jones running the floor, and it's blocked by Tyrone Wallace. A fantastic leaper, Tyrone Wallace, the freshman. And give him some credit for running the floor, coming up with a big defensive play.
Well, it's one of those plays. I think DeJean-Jones didn't realize how close Wallace was. He's trying to dunk this ball. Wallace makes a great defensive play.
Back in San Jose in our game summary, and then after some hot shooting early, both teams have cooled off.
Yeah, it's turned into a little bit of a slugfest. Cal started 4 for 6. They're 2 of 12 since. UNLV started 5 for 10. They're 2 of 9 since. And I think a slugfest favors Cal.
Yeah. UNLV by 3. Cal with a basketball here.
Of course, playing without Crabbe, it's going to be hard for Cal to win, whether it's slugfest or not. And Crabbe is back in the game with those 2 personal fouls.
Mike Montgomery's going to let it ride, and Wallace passes a little too deep. Birch got a piece of that. There's Kravish. David Kravish, the sophomore from Lee Summit, Missouri, on the board.
And again, that's the way the Cal big guys are going to score. They're not really guys who are going to make great post moves and things like that, but they clean up around the basket. They can catch dump-offs from guys penetrating to the basket. But when they get the opportunity, they have to be able to finish, and Kravish did that time.
Cal has their starters back out there. Reinhardt for 3. Caden Reinhardt from Mater Dei, just a freshman. Player of the year in Los Angeles last year in high school. And he is a big part of what UNLV does. Reinhardt making his 34th start as a freshman. Birch got a piece of that. Big block, that's his 4th. Crabbe, back iron to John Jones. The rebound, here's Marshall. And Reinhardt, wide open. And it's going to be a foul on Kravish. Caden Reinhardt, the sharpshooter from LA.
Well, now Reinhardt is over here in the corner, and you notice everybody from the defense is looking this way, and they move the ball quickly, and because they move the ball quickly after the penetration, nobody can get over to Reinhardt. Even when you're playing that zone and Reinhardt is away from the ball, you have to be conscious of where he is so you can recover to him quickly.
He's having a nice game. He averages a little over 10 a game, already with 8. Made 62 three-pointers this year for UNLV leading up to this game. Has the green light as a freshman for Dave Rice. Marshall passed one up. Deshaun Jones, jump stop, nothing doing inside. Kravish and Solomon, now Crabbe running the floor. Ellen Crabbe.
And that all started when Anthony Marshall passed up a wide open shot. Marshall's trying to distribute the ball, but when he has an open shot, he's got to take it.
Reinhardt to the basket. Here comes Alan Crabbe. And a tough pass. Cobbs did a nice job keeping that ball from going out of bounds. And John Jones, much taller than Justin Cobbs. He's got it by 4 inches. Crabbe, turnaround, got it.
You can see why Mike Montgomery knows he has to have him in the game.
Just knows his way to the basket. Playing with 2 fouls. Montgomery taking a gamble, but it's paying off.
Well, they're playing zone defense, so he ought to be able to be careful on the defensive end.
Birch, yes, nicely done in the paint. Kim Birch, over 7 points a game for UNLV, nearly 6 rebounds.
Now, he's not noted, Birch, for his offense, but he can score inside.
His first field goal of the game. Crabbe, quick release, but Deshaun Jones got a piece. And Kravish will run it down.
Deshaun Jones got a piece, and then Birch was out there as well, nearly recovered the ball. Nice hustle by Cat.
Shot clock down to 7. Alan Crabbe to Kravish. Pass was behind him. And here's Solomon. Solomon kept it alive and is rewarded with a dunk. And Birch is a little shaken up. I think he got clocked in the nose. Reinhardt will take it. Hesitation. Solomon pulls it right down. Boy, he's been tough in the paint. Justin Cobbs. Solomon for 3. Why not? Oh, Solomon, not known for his three-point shooting, drops a bomb on UNLV.
It's only his 4th made three-point basket of the year. UNLV's got to get the ball movement against this zone. You got to penetrate, draw the defense, and then pass it to somebody who's open.
Reinhardt's not afraid. Bennett the board. And a foul on Wallace. Well, a great run here in the last few possessions for the Cal Bears. Solomon tough in the paint. And from behind the arc, why not? RDJ, thanks. Well, it's been a 9-2 run for Cal. Dan, how has Cal gotten back into this one?
Well, they're doing a nice job converting from defense to offense. Anthony Marshall passes up a shot on the inside, and as a result, the defense is able to collapse, and they're able to turn it into a quick basket down on the other end. And in a tight game like this, if you're the defensive team, you really have to limit the opportunities for your opposition to get baskets like that.
Anthony Bennett's been quiet so far. Now 3 points. Bennett, 1 field goal made, his first free throw attempt. But he is the UNLV leader in points per game, also leads him in rebounds. First freshman to do that, 16 plus and 8 plus rebounds. 1 out of 2 for Bennett. Most of the scoring for UNLV coming from DeJon Jones and Caden Reinhardt. Wallace, Justin Cobbs. Front iron, DeJon Jones flying high for the rebound. Cobbs has been quiet. Alec Crabbe still in with 2 fouls. And he's had an impact scoring the basketball. Banging down inside, not there. Bach stepped out of bounds. Just into the game. Good defense on Quintrell Thomas, but his foot was out of bounds. Just a reminder, coming up on AT&T at the half, we'll get you caught up on all the latest tournament news, highlights, and of course all the updates. That's all coming up AT&T at the half. And check the bar up above, all the games that are going on currently on the family of networks for the NCAA tournament.
Cal has really done a nice job contesting the inside play of UNLV. The UNLV big guys unable to finish in there. Cal's own defense has also done a nice job surrounding Anthony Bennett on the inside. He really hasn't had many open opportunities.
Bach guarding Bennett, a senior from Sudan. Clearing some space. Marshall kicks it out. And Hawkins hits a 3-pointer.
If Marshall's going to go in there, he's got to make sure he draws the defense, and if he does, then kick it out for a jump shot. If the defense doesn't come, then he's got to go all the way to the basket. He showed you a replay before where he didn't do that. That time he executed it to perfection.
Well, Hawkins took 1 step, gave him a perfect passing lane, and knocks down the 3. A lot of 3-pointers. UNLV loves to shoot the 3. They shoot nearly 20 a game. There's a turnover. And Marshall all the way to the finish line. Every run met with another by the opposition so far. Crabbe for 3. 1 and done for Cal. Minute and a half remaining.
Looks like we're trading spurts here, Brian.
Dan, it's a game of runs. I've heard that.
Cal goes back to the man-to-man defense. Let's see if they can get the ball inside to Bennett against the man-to-man.
Defended by Kravish. This was a matchup that was in the favor of Bennett. First time around, he settles for the jump shot. And Wallace the rebound. Approaching a minute left in the first half. Wallace taking himself. Oh, Wallace goes down hard as the ball wedges. And it sounded like Wallace came down on the back of his head. I mean, it was a clean fall.
But he's driving hard to the basket, and he's not protecting himself at all. He wasn't able to get his hands down to break his fall. Oh, he landed right on his tailbone.
Oh, man. The players today, they wear a lot of the protective padding underneath their uniforms.
There's very little padding that's going to protect you there.
Yeah.
And so now the officials again, they're going to go over and look at the monitor to try to see whether there was excessive contact there. Get a chance to see, he takes the ball to the basket, and Bennett goes to try to block the shot. It appeared to me that Bennett was trying to make a play on the ball. That follow through really nailed him. When you take a hard fall like that, I think it's not ill-advised of the referees to go over and look and see if there was excessive contact.
Don Daly checking out the replay. He and Borowski will talk it over. There won't be a flagrant 2, possibly a flagrant 1.
And keep in mind, what does that mean? If they rule that it is a flagrant 1, then there will not only be the 2 shots, but Cal will get the ball.
And that's how it reads according to the rule book. Flagrant 1, excessive contact or non-excessive elbow contact above the shoulders. And the fact that it was a blow to the head is what they're checking on here. And I think Tim Kelly might want to take another look at it. So this is what the refs see. And boy, what a hard fall for the freshman Wallace.
And based on Dave Rice's reaction,
right,
it appears that they have decided that that is a flagrant 1.
So Bo Borowski will fill us in. Flagrant 1, excessive contact. 2 shots in the ball for Cal. And Wallace will take the free throws, which is a good sign that he's able to remain in the game. Well, this could be a turnaround, and he clanks it off the back iron.
Most of the time when we see the referees going over there to look, it involves swinging of the elbows, but as the rule states, doesn't have to be swinging of the elbows. Banks that one in. So they ruled that was excessive contact.
A chance at a 3 or 4 point trip down the floor for Cal. Down 2. Well, very entertaining first half. Cal and UNLV. Kravish got it. Wow. 3-point trip for the Bears.
Big trip, and I think that that was really the correct call because Bennett followed through with that arm and clipped Wallace across the forehead. I think if he doesn't make that follow through, then it's okay. But that follow through is what really caused the officials to rule that an excessive contact play.
UNLV time for the inside-outside game. Hawkins just hit a 3. Now the lefty Marshall will take it. No. Krecklow, the rebound, and he traveled. Yeah, double dribble. Krecklow got up in the air. And just when Cal had a chance at possibly the last shot, a turnover, UNLV will have that chance. You see the turnover story. Mike Montgomery's Bears with 6 so far. UNLV shooting much better from behind the arc. They've made 5 3-pointers. 5 for 11 from behind the arc, shooting just 32% inside the 3-point line. Reinhardt's back in the top corner, the 3-point shooter.
And they will try to hold the ball for the last shot. And it looks like Cal is going to stay in that zone, so they will allow them to take the last shot. And where UNLV has had the most success against the zone is the dribble penetration, drawing the defense, and kicking it out for a jump shot. They really haven't been able to penetrate, draw the defense, and dump it to one of their inside guys.
Game clock down to 6. Marshall out to Reinhardt, wide open. Not there. Cobb's a rebound. And Cal survives foul trouble from their top scorer in the Pac-12 Player of the Year, Alan Crabb. Not only surviving, but excelling. And we are all tied up at 28. Quiet half for Anthony Bennett, just 3 points. Send it over to Marty with UNLV head coach Dave Rice.
Well, Dave, I first have to ask you about that flagrant 1 foul call. Was it a fair call, and did that change the tenor of the game at all?
You know, I didn't get a good enough look at it. It's a very physical game, and both teams are playing extremely hard.
Seems like their defense is feeding their offense. How do you solve their zone, especially?
Well, we got to move the ball better. When we move the ball, when we throw it inside and played inside out, we've been successful. We've got to continue to move the ball.
Thanks, Dave.
You got it.
Brian?
All right, Marty, thanks. Thanks to Dave Rice. Halftime here in San Jose. Outstanding half, all tied at 28. We'll send you to AT&T at the half after these messages. And you're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. Back in San Jose, all tied, Cal and UNLV at 28. Let's hear from Mike Montgomery. He's with Marty.
Well, Mike, it seems like the interior defense is terrific, but they're getting a lot of threes. How do you defend that?
From where they're shooting them, it's pretty tough. You know, that really spreads you out. They've shot the ball well. We knew Jones can shoot it in Reinhardt. They haven't always shot it that well, but they have shot pretty well, 5 threes. But I guess I'd trade that right now for them just punish us in the paint.
Obviously, Alan Krabs has 2 fouls, and I asked him, do you have to limit those minutes? He told me, no, we don't have to limit him. We'll let him play whatever he wants to play in the second half.
All right, Marty, thanks. And thanks to Mike Montgomery. It's kind of fisheye in Marty right there, huh? I'll speak for myself. But that's what he said. The three-pointers, that's certainly a problem. What's on your mind?
Well,
Dan?
and I think he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
In the first game, Anthony Bennett scored 25 points against them. And so what they're doing is they're defending that interior. And if UNLV is going to beat them from threes, well, you know, they're just going to lose the game. But Bennett, he's only got 3 points in the first half.
Now getting a big production from 2 players so far, DeJon Jones and Caton Reinhardt, 28-28. Dan talked at the end of the first half about the mini runs. Cal has had a couple, 7-0, 9-2. UNLV went on a 12-2 run and a 6-0. And this
Brian,
these
one
stats
of the
presented by Coke Zero.
One of the things we talked about before the game was that Cal, in particular, had to get from some production from their inside guys. The inside players for Cal in the first half, led by Solomon, have scored 15 points, where UNLV's inside guys, including Anthony Bennett, have only scored 5 points. Bennett has had a very difficult time getting open against the Cal zone. When he has had the opportunity against the man-to-man, he hasn't been able to get to the basket. A very frustrating evening so far for Anthony Bennett.
Well, you know, Mike Montgomery has to feel good. He took a gamble putting Alan Crabb back in the game with 2 fouls, but he ended up playing 11 foul-free minutes on the game clock and was a big part of a comeback for Cal. Actually hit the shot that tied it, and that's where it ended up at the half.
You expect your veteran players to be able to play with fouls. There's a traveling violation on Anthony Marshall. And besides, Crabb is a guy who can be careful on defense, particularly when they're playing the zone. The issue for Crabb is whether or not he'll pick up an offensive foul, driving the ball to the basket, but he's smart enough that he won't do that either.
If you're just picking us up here on True TV, Cal, the 12 seed, UNLV, the 5 seed, it's Crabb goes to the basket. There's not that much different between these 2 programs. These 2 already played earlier this year in the regular season. A lot has gone by as DeJon Jones connects once again.
Now, Mike Montgomery's defense, he'll give up the easy or the open 3-point shots, particularly if they're shooting them from deep. But that's a wide open shot from about 15 feet away. No defense can give up those consistently.
12 points for DeJon Jones. Here's Crabb again. Man, what a scorer he is.
He just keeps moving without the ball. He doesn't stand at all, and so it's really hard to keep up with him.
He had a quick little 5-point burst when he came back in with 2 fouls. He's hit the first 2 in the second half. That is off the head of Bennett. Cal ball.
We've talked about Crabb and his ability to move without the ball, uses the screens very effectively, finds the seams in the defense. Somebody's got to step in there and try to take a charge. Man-to-man defense for UNLV. That was Bennett's, had that shot block, but that was the first time he's really gotten the ball down on the block.
Justin Cobbs, he's the other part of the dynamic duo. Kradish wide open. Little mid-range game from David Kradish, the sophomore.
Inside guys, Brian, continue to score. That's 17 points now for the Cal interior players.
The 2 12 seeds in this particular bracket in San Jose, Cal and Oregon, neither one of them look like a 12 seed. There's a whistle on Cal. Going up strong is Kim Birch. Free throws.
Most of the time you figure the Cal inside guys are for playing, getting the ball close to the basket and scoring. This time it's a screen and Kravis steps back instead of the pick and roll, the pick and pop.
Cal has 18 points in the paint, 18 of their 34. And a lot of that is because of the penetration. As Kim Birch goes to the line, he's a 65% free throw shooter. Kid from Montreal who transferred from Pitt and gives UNLV a lot of size. Was not available to UNLV when these 2 matched up in December. That was a game that came right down to the last possession. And it has that feel here once again in the NCAA tournament.
UNLV's defense has to figure out a way to guard Crabb. He has been dominating the ball.
Crabb kicks it back. Justin Cobbs. And that is when Cal is at their best. Inside to outside. Crabb to Cobbs. And a timeout. UNLV.
Even though he didn't score the basket, Crabb is the guy in the center of this whole thing. The defense collapses on Crabb. He draws 4 guys. Cobbs is open. Bang.
Syracuse has arrived. They'll match up against Montana next in a 13-4 matchup, our final game here on True TV. And the winner here will match up against the winner of Syracuse and Montana. Former Montana coach Mike Montgomery leading Cal. And a 6-point lead here. Justin Cobbs almost went the other way.
Even though Cal is playing in this zone defense, they have been aggressive out on the perimeter. They've really done a nice job shutting off the inside game of UNLV.
These two teams not trading baskets, they're trading runs. And Cal is on one here, 13-3. Leading up to the halftime break. And to start the second half is Bennett. Been quiet today. The star freshman who leads his team in scoring. Going to the free throw line now.
Bennett working very hard for position this time, but against that zone defense, he's trying to get out of the way, but there really isn't any clear out against the zone. However, he is able to take the ball in the middle and draw the foul.
Got Robert Thurman in there, putting a big body on Anthony Bennett. 6'8" freshman from Brampton, Ontario. Ended up at Findlay Prep in Henderson, Nevada. And staying right there to play for UNLV. Back iron. So here comes Cal. Justin Cobbs. This is Wallace, the freshman.
But there's Crabb again, moving without the basketball, creating opportunities. Travis hesitated on that. I think if he squeezes the trigger right away, he's got a better chance to make that shot.
Birch got it. Birch finds some open space.
And one of the other things that Cal's been able to do is prevent UNLV from getting out in transition. Very few fast break opportunities for the running Rebels.
Cal coming out of the Pac-12. Picked to finish third in that conference. Crabb didn't even have a handle on that ball. Almost knocked down the shot. Here's Marshall to Reinhardt. He's open. Reinhardt for three. Too much space for Caden Reinhardt. He's having a big game in his first NCAA tournament appearance. It's 11 points. Cobbs elevates, high arcing shot. Thurman right there to clean it up. Just holding his ground in the paint, Robert Thurman. DeJon Jones. And one and done. Here comes Wallace. Take a look up above at that bar. Louisville advances. No problem. And in the corner, Alan Crabb. Pac-12 Player of the Year, and showing you why. So Alan Crabb coming up with another big bucket. Might have had a toe on the line. They'll check that. Looked to me like it was a 2. We'll find out when we continue from San Jose. Stay right there. All right, thanks, EJ. Dan, take us through this sequence here.
Well,
two
let's
or
take
three.
a look at this. 2 or 3. You make the call as we start the replay here and see what calls the referees make. All right, now watch. Let's stop it right there. Here, this is that referee signaling 2. This referee signaling 2. We got one more referee. He's standing over here. His name is Mike Montgomery, and he signals a 3, but he's wrong. It's a 2.
Counted it a 2. 13 points for Alan Crabb. And in a game like this, every point could matter. It's Crabbish. Denies Bennett in the corner. Reinhardt. DeJon Jones flying high. Crabb took off, and the ball was right behind him. UNLV swipes an extra possession out of this.
Anthony Marshall has really not looked to score. He's only got 2 points in the game. He's only taken 4 shots.
Marshall averaging over 10.5 a game for UNLV. Reinhardt hasn't been shy so far today. Shot clock at 7. Here's Marshall. Inside to Bennett, had knocked away Thurman. Here's DeJon Jones. Nope. Travis the board. Here come the Bears. Cobbs can attack and count the basket. Justin Cobbs starting to assert himself in the second half.
Cobbs takes the ball right to the basket. Marshall backs away, and after Marshall backs away, there's really nobody to defend Cobbs going to the goal. Not very good transition defense that time by the running Rebels.
5 points for Cobbs in the second half, has 8 total.
But their offense is really stagnant at the moment. That's what Mike Montgomery told us at halftime. He's willing to give up the threes to defend the interior. And what we're seeing now is the threes have stopped and that UNLV still can't score on the interior.
How does Dave Rice answer the guard play of Cal from this point forward? Specifically Crab and Cobbs.
Well, you got to prevent them from penetrating, and it's really hard because Crab's doing a great job playing without the ball.
There's Crab. Tough with the left. Yes.
He plays so well without the ball, and then when he gets it, he's always moving toward the basket, and the help defense just isn't coming.
Biggest lead.
Danger zone for UNLV.
Under 14 minutes in regulation. Already have had a 12 seed up into 5 seed today. Our previous game on TNT, Oregon defeating Oklahoma State in the Midwest bracket. Bennett will take a three, he's fouled. And 3 free throws coming, and that's number 3 on Alan Crab.
Boy, this is really a bailout foul. UNLV had very little to do. The nice fake by Bennett draws the defense away. But Crab on offense again. He moves off that screen and catches the ball headed right to the basket. A nice left-handed bank shot. He has been really hard to guard for UNLV, and that's been the key to the Cal attack.
Anthony Bennett, 3 free throws coming up. Shot 70% this year. Good free throw shooter for a big man, especially. Crab with 3 fouls. He was in foul trouble in their first matchup back on December night. Matter of fact, he didn't play much in the first half. Only played in 27 minutes in that game, which was a season low for him. And Bennett is 2 for 2. Ricky Krecklow is in. Crab will head to the bench. And we'll see how long Mike Montgomery is going to sit his top scorer here with 3 fouls.
Well, I think you give him a few minutes here because there's 13:40 left. You don't want him to pick up that 4th quickly. But I don't think Mike Montgomery's going to leave him out very long. Montgomery put him back in the game with 2 fouls in the first half. And keep in mind that Cal really didn't play very well with Crab out of the game in that first half. So he won't stay out long.
That could be a big moment in the game. A foul by Crab on the 3-point shot by Bennett. He hits all 3 free throws. Bennett now with 7 points. 5 of those coming from the free throw line. Now Justin Cobbs becomes the primary scorer for Cal. Kravish dumps it in, and a steal. Here comes Bennett. Big man can handle it. It's going all the way, and it's stripped away by Cobbs.
He's got to pass that ball. I know he can handle it, but the best thing for him to do is pass the ball to a guard and then go get in a lane and get himself to the basket where he can receive the ball. So you got to give up the ball in this situation. He dribbles the ball into a crowd, beats his teammates down the court. That's not a good play.
And a year removed from high school, here's a guy who would never give the ball up a year ago at this time.
In that play in high school, he dribbles the ball to the basket and dunks it. A little bit better competition here.
In the corner, Moser. Offensive board from Goodman. Reinhardt got stuck, and Kravish comes away with it. Wallace with Solomon trailing. Oh, great defense by the Rebels. Here comes Moser. And Savons Goodman misses a dunk. Cobbs keeps the tempo up. Furious pace here the last few possessions.
You know, if you just lay it over the rim, you get an easy basket.
Cal by 5 with the ball. Winner advances to the round of 32. On Saturday, loser goes home. Season over. Cobbs in the corner. Yes! Justin Cobbs for 3.
And you just feel Cal asserting its control over this game.
And an answer from Reinhardt, not there. Wallace comes away with it. Solomon's running the floor.
And Mike Montgomery telling his guys, slow down.
Cobbs is 3 for 3 from behind the arc. Now 11 points. That gives him 8 in the second half.
And remember, this is all happening with Crabb out of the ball game.
Cobbs again. Nope. Tough shot. They were ready to roar here in San Jose. A pro-Cal crowd just 45 minutes from Berkeley. Kravish, a block, held ball. Possession arrow belongs to UNLV. And a timeout on the floor. Kravish is having a nice day. Cal D turn it into some Cal O. Justin Cobbs, a perfect 3 for 3 from behind the arc. 8-point Cal lead. And you can get full coverage of the 2013 Division I Women's Basketball Tournament at ncaa.com/women's Final Four. Cal by 8. Alan Crabb, Justin Cobbs, the two focal points of this Cal offense. And the numbers today, Dan.
They've played very well. We talked about the fact before the game that they had to play well, and they have certainly stepped forward, particularly Cobbs here in the second half. UNLV has missed its last 8 field goal attempts, only shooting 3 for 12 in the second half. Just simply have not been able to solve this zone defense.
Crabb is back in with 3 fouls. Montgomery's going to take a shot with an 8-point lead. Shot clock down to 7 to John Jones. Nope, off the foot of Kravish, I thought. And Cal might have got a break there. So Cal ball. Can add to their lead. Can push it into double digits. Ooh, Cobbs walked. Yes, he did. So the favor is returned. Oh, the screws tightening up here. This round of 64 matchup, Cal and UNLV. The winner will advance and play the winner of Syracuse and Montana, which is coming up next on True TV.
To attack a zone, the ball has to go in and out from side to side. You can't hold the ball when you catch it. You got to move it.
Cross court. There's Marshall. Nope. Offensive board. Mosier comes away with a board. A 3-point attempt. Not there. Deshaun Jones flying high. And he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. Man, he can really sky.
Boy, he really can, but still, UNLV, now they've gotten some good shots on this possession, just not able to knock him down. Mosier, I don't think he saw the defense coming, and he's had a tough time shooting the 3, particularly since he's been back from his injury, but point-blank range for UNLV, they just haven't been able to convert.
Well, Bryce Deshaun Jones with a free throw. By the way, that foul was called on Richard Solomon. Thurman will check back in for Solomon. That's his 4th foul. Had such a huge impact early in this game. To the bench he goes.
And he scored those 9 early points. He's got 6 rebounds in the game. He's done a nice job.
Cal by 6.
And this is where you have a difficult time if you're UNLV trying to pressure these guards.
They have not been able to solve the riddle of Crabb and Cobbs. Foul on UNLV. Kreklow got hung up down there with Hawkins, I believe.
Hawkins trying to fight through the screen. Hawkins is an outstanding defender for UNLV. And Kreklow is the guy, his reputation is that he can really shoot it. As you mentioned, injured most of the year, hasn't really had that much opportunity to show his shooting prowess, but you've got to be worried about him.
A foot injury. He's playing in just his 8th game. Ricky Kreklow. Here he is. Kreklow to the middle. Finds Alan Crabb. The ball is partially blocked by Bennett. And here come the running Rebs. Moser down inside to Bennett, right where he wants it, and a foul. So Bennett to the line. Thurman a foul.
Bennett did a great job getting position in transition, and Mosier hit him with the pass perfectly. And you'd really like to see your big freshman play through this contact and get an and one there. The partisan crowd doesn't like that call. They thought it was a good block.
Showed the replay on the Jumbotron. Bennett, well, he shot the ball well from the free throw line. UNLV 9 for 13 as a team, but Bennett is now 6 for 8 from the free throw line.
See, his numbers much better outside the Mountain West than in conference play.
Deshaun Jones
He's going to pick up a foul.
Yep, that's a foul. Or is it? Just
Yeah,
out of bounds.
they called a
Got
foul
it.
on DeJon Jones.
I beg your pardon. So Cal with a basketball and a 5-point lead. And with so much attention on Cobbs and Crabb, you wonder if there's that third scorer, that third threat available to Cal at this point.
I think it's been a collective threat so far. The inside guys have done a great job scoring 17 points in the game.
There's a push by Hawkins, a foul. It's a travel, actually. Alan Crabb walked with it.
We mentioned Hawkins has a reputation as being UNLV's best on-ball defender, and he moves his feet trying to stay in front of Crabb. A lot of contact there, Brian, as you mentioned. No foul call.
Here's an opportunity for UNLV. A lot of time left. 9:15 remaining in a back-and-forth game. DeJon Jones. Nothing there, and here come the Bears. They have really cleared the boards well on the defensive end. Solomon's on the bench with 4 fouls. Kravish and Thurman doing the dirty work for the Bears.
Kravish has played very well on the inside, both offensively and defensively. This is that one.
It's one he's got to have. You think about the thousands and thousands of shots from that spot in his life. It's a little too antsy.
Well, he's got the open shot, and he's a 50% shooter, which means he misses half the time, and so that's a shot that he would certainly like to have back. But I think Cal will take that kind of a look at the basket every time down.
UNLV, they've missed their last 12 field goals, and Dave Rice wants to talk about it for this offensive possession. The Boo Birds here in San Jose, but Cal by 5. This game has a feel a lot like the last time these two teams matched up, December 9th. That was at Berkeley. It was a win for UNLV. Came down to the last possession. Quintrell Thomas on the air ball finished at the rim to win it for UNLV on the road, 76-75. And don't let the seeding discrepancy fool you. The 12-5, these two teams very well matched. UNLV with a golden opportunity here. Dave Rice called the timeout, trying to get some points. DeJon Jones, no, air ball. And that's going to be a foul on Mosier of UNLV. Mosier had that gruesome injury in that first game, dislocated elbow. The star last year for UNLV, but quiet this year, especially after that injury, his last 21 games.
Really been a struggle offensively for UNLV today, but you got to dig in there and play defense.
Great pass, Cobbs to the Terminator. Robert Thurman in a perfect spot and a 7-point Bears lead. Now a steal. Alan Crabb. Krecklow back to Crabb. That's who I'd give it to. Thurman keep it alive. Kravish the board.
Thurman and Kravish just out fighting Mosier and Bennett for the basketball. Really great hustle by the Cal inside players.
Cobbs, air ball. So Cal cannot capitalize. And who's that going to belong to? That's a block on Krecklow.
Cal guards have done a great job penetrating the UNLV defense, drawing the defenders and then dumping it off. This is where the Cal inside guys are most dangerous.
Sellout here in San Jose. We invite you to see real stories of human achievement featured on the Buick Human Highlight Reel at ncaa.com/Buick. Over 16,000 at the Shark Tank in San Jose. Just 45 miles from Berkeley. Cal enjoying some of that home cooking. And they have a 7-point lead here over UNLV.
And they've played outstanding defense, as is evidenced by that UNLV shooting percentage of only 29%. And the interior players for Cal have scored 21 points. The interior players, including Anthony Bennett for UNLV, only 13. And that's been a big difference in the game.
And a miss on the free throw by DeJon Jones.
And UNLV has not done themselves any favors at the free throw line, only 9 for 15.
And they are in the bonus, so a bunch of free throws coming up. The final 7+ of this one. Crabb and Cobbs have combined for 26 points. Dump it inside. Good hands down there by Marshall. Knocking it out of Thurman's hands. 14 on the shot clock for Montgomery's Bears. The two freshmen, Reinhardt defending Wallace. Shot clock at 5. And here's Crabb, so quick. And to finish by Thurman. Thurman and Kravish becoming the story. Getting down and dirty in the paint for Cal. And a foul. Moser fouled.
We have seen Crabb draw the defense and dish it off for an assist, and this time he draws the defense. Nobody blocks out. Everybody's watching the basketball, and Thurman, number 34, just is a guy who knows where to go. He gets down close to the basket, and the fans are thrilled with the way Cal has played throughout this evening.
That's 8 for Thurman. Kravish has 6 as Moser misfires on the free throw.
They're now 9 for 16 from the free throw line. You just can't do that on this kind of a stage. Can't do that on any stage,
right,
but certainly not on this stage. Particularly not when you're trying to mount a comeback.
Especially when you're in the bonus. So 1 out of 2 for Moser. The Cal Bears trying to advance to Saturday. Syracuse and Montana coming up after this one. Well, Crabb just so active, running miles and miles without the basketball. Kravish, nope, missed from short range. A couple of bunnies Kravish has missed. Hawkins for 3. And there's Cobbs pulling it away. 1 and done for the Rebels. Good job on the boards by the Cal Bears. They've out-rebounded UNLV by 8. See the free throws this half. Cal hasn't taken one. And UNLV just 9 for 14. Shot clock at 10. Cobbs, a 2-pointer. Kravish kept it alive for a moment off his thigh. UNLV ball.
I think if you're sitting over on the UNLV bench, you have to be telling yourself, if we can just make a couple of shots. They've missed their last 14 field goal attempts. Are you kidding me? That's beyond cold.
Team that averages big production. They shoot about 23s a game, make over 6 a game. Just 6 for 19 from behind the arc. Moser dumps it inside to Hawkins, and there's Thurman with a block. Stepped on the sideline, out of bounds. Marshall turns it over. And Montgomery's going to make a sub here. Richard Solomon checks back in with 4 fouls. Hawkins will take a seat. Marshall didn't realize he stepped on the line. Clearly did.
Boy, just nothing going right for UNLV. They have scored not a single field goal in the last 11 minutes and 10 seconds. Wow.
And running. Alley-oop. Too much. Reinhardt. And Moser, athletic play. Throws it back over his head for a bucket, and they finally get off the schneid with field goals, UNLV.
And for all that, they're only down 6 points. If they can get a defensive stop here, they're in great position.
See if that will inspire Moser. Been searching for confidence. Here's Thurman. Oh, Thurman brings it home. What a pass.
You don't expect Thurman to make a lot of moves, but when you get him the ball there, he can dunk it.
That's a block on Thurman. They're looking for the charge. It's going to send Marshall to the free throw line. Thurman has the last 6 points for Cal. But a foul here. What do you think?
Well, Thurman just not quite able to get there in time, but he gets in plenty of time here. Once again, it's Crabb drawing the defense. Bennett playing way too far away from Thurman, trying to help out against Crabb.
Well, we were wondering who was it going to be. A lot of attention on Crabb and Cobbs, and it turns out it's Robert Thurman, the senior.
Thurman has played really well. Solomon has played really well. Kravitz has played really well. And those three guys collectively, Thurman, Kravitz, and Solomon, have really been a big factor in this game.
UNLV glad to see one go through the hoop on a free throw. 67% free throw shooter. Anthony Marshall, Las Vegas native. And he hits them both. Tightening up here in San Jose. 6-point lead, Cal with the basketball. UNLV in the double bonus the rest of the way. They've been in a bonus the last 8 minutes. And Mike Montgomery wants a timeout. Montgomery goes straight to Bo Borowski. Cal and UNLV, the Thurminator, getting loose underneath. He has 10 now. Here's the star comparison tonight. Crabb, the Pac-12 Player of the Year, 15 points. Bennett, top scorer for UNLV, just 10. As we check in with Marty, Mike Montgomery and Bo Borowski coming together there, Marty.
Yeah, and it's actually been going on for a few minutes. After the last Thurman slam, he tried to call a timeout, Mike Montgomery did, and Bo Borowski came back at him and said, you can't call a timeout right now. And he came out of the box at Bo Borowski, and they've tried to calm it down now. That's why he went after Bo to say, hey, I was trying to call a timeout. Pay attention to what I'm saying, please.
In other words, no soup for you. Not yet, anyway. What a thriller this has been. Big possession. Thurman inside again, just patient, and Thurman goes to the rim once again, giving 8 points in a row for the Bears.
Eventually, you got to decide you're not going to let that guy dunk on you anymore.
Here come the Bears in transition. Wallace himself, no. And Reinhardt, the rebound. Boy, that would have lifted this place. And UNLV right back in transition, quiets him down. The Rebs running, timeout, Dave Rice. It's a 6-point game. Montgomery barking at the freshman Wallace. Robert Thurman announcing his presence of authority. 8 points in a row for Cal. Robert Thurman, what a story. The third scorer, who'd have thunk it? Robert Thurman averages just 4.5 a game for the Cal Bears, but now 12 points on 6 of 6 shooting. And he has scored the last 8. Thurman with 10 second-half points. And the Bears with the ball. 3.5 remaining in regulation and a 6-point lead.
And if you're UNLV in this possession, you have to try very hard to prevent that dribble penetration, which has broken down the defense all night long.
Cal lost the last 2 regular season games to Stanford and Utah. They were ousted by Utah in the Pac-12 tournament, but they found something here in the NCAA tournament. With a shot clock down, great defense by UNLV. A chance here for the Rebels.
Now, can they convert?
Bennett down to the big man. Up and over Thurman, and that's what the Rebels need. Their top scorer, freshman Anthony Bennett. Two and a half left. Cal 2-possession lead. With the ball, here's Crabb. Crabb to the hole, and he's fouled. And Alan Crabb will shoot a pair.
And Alan Crabb has done a great job moving without the ball all night long. And he's going to get to go to the free throw line when we come back. He moves without the ball, drives into the lane, gets the foul. Now Anthony Bennett, the freshman we've talked about the entire game, he finally gets it close to the basket and is finally able to convert.
Well, they're giving us a finish here in San Jose. 2:24 remaining. Here's the game reset on a held ball. Cal has the possession arrow. 3 timeouts left. You see the 9 fouls at this point. UNLV just 1 timeout remaining as Dave Rice has tried to get his team back into this game on the offensive possessions. Bennett.
And UNLV still has a couple of fouls to give, so they can afford to be aggressive on the defensive end. The problem they had before is they fouled Crabb in the act of shooting. You don't want to do that.
How about this story, Dan? The free throws. Cal's taken 2 the entire game, and those 2 came at the end of the first half. Alan Crabb will shoot a pair here. A guy who gets to the free throw line a lot, and he cans the first one. He's an 81% free throw shooter. Pac-12 Player of the Year at a career high this year in points and rebounds, and he hits them both.
Now for UNLV, you want to push the ball up the court and get a quick basket. You don't want to be taking a lot of time off the clock here. You don't want to take a wild shot, but you're down by 6, and so you've got to score and score quickly.
A Cal foul turns into 2 free throws. Bennett going strong. Back iron, not there. Solomon with 4 fouls. The rebound, and that's going to be a foul on Bennett. A frustration foul for the big man.
You throw the ball inside to Bennett, and even against the zone, if the zone is going to surround him like this, you've got to have guys in positions where Bennett can see him and from which they can score, and nobody really moved to help Bennett that time.
And a timeout. Alan Crabb couldn't get the ball inbounds. And that'll drop the timeouts to 2 for Cal. 2:07 left in regulation. There's the game reset, and 2 timeouts left for Cal. Walk us through it, Dan.
Well, and obviously UNLV still has 1 foul to give, so you can afford to be very aggressive on this end of the court. You don't want to foul anybody in the act of shooting, of course, but down here under the basket trying to get a steal, you can afford to be very aggressive. There's Justin Cobbs. I think you get the ball in bounds. If you're Cal, you put it in the hands of Crabb and Cobbs, and you take your chances.
6-point Cal lead with the basketball. And they also have the possession arrow if it's tied up. Monster possession here. Here's Wallace. Looking for Alan Crabb. Crabb gets it over to Cobbs.
Took plenty of time.
14 on the shot clock. And had it poked away. Bennett got a piece of that. Now the Rebels with numbers, a 3-on-2. A foul. Dejon Jones fouled hard.
And now Dave Rice is going to say, hey, that was an excessive contact foul, so it should be 2 shots and the ball. Good sportsmanship there.
Yeah. Like to see that.
Ball just gets away from Crabb. And Dejon Jones taking it hard to the basket. And the officials are going to go over and take a look at it.
Oh, and there's a poke to the face.
Oh,
and
he hits him right in the face.
That looks like a potential flagrant 1. If you're just joining us, at the end of the first half, there was a flagrant 1 called on UNLV that gave Cal 2 free throws and the ball. And there was a bit of a turning point in that first half that ended in a first half tie. Oh, right in the face.
Well, he hits him in the face, and then he follows through and pulls his arm down. And just because he falls hard, though, doesn't mean the officials are going to rule it an excessive contact foul.
But if they do, you're talking about 2 free throws, 2 more in the ball.
Well, if they do rule it a flagrant 1, then Dejon Jones goes to the line for 2 free throws, and then UNLV gets the ball. And that would be huge at this point in the game. Reaches in with the left hand, he hits him on the face, and he falls hard.
A foul called right away on Cobbs, and now the referees checking the monitor. They're looking at the same replays you are here. All of these angles. And, boy, this is starting to feel like a flagrant 1 coming. We'll wait and see. Referees have seen enough. They come together. Don Daly, Bo Borowski, Tim Kelly.
What really cinches it for me is the fact that Cobbs puts his hand in and pulls the arm down.
And it will be a flagrant 1 on Cal.
I think just the blow to the face, if he's trying to get the ball, just the blow to the face doesn't matter, but then he follows through and pulls the arm down. I think that's a good call. Now, can they make the free throws?
Yeah, cannot. Again, we had this in the first half.
A flagrant one, excessive contact, and they ruled that was excessive contact, but not extreme or severe.
1 out of 2. Those are the free throws for the flagrant one.
This is a very critical play, so we can take a look at it again, and the officials ruled that it was flagrant, that blow to the face and then the follow-through. This is the play in the first half that was ruled a flagrant one. And again, you have a blow to the face.
And it was a 3-point possession for Cal in the first half. It could be 3 or 4 for UNLV. It could be a huge swing. DeJon Jones thought about it.
But Bennett's still working hard for position inside. He's open.
Yes, he is. Pass goes into him. I think Marshall heard you. Not there. Cobbs with a rebound.
See, he double clutched it in there. Power the ball up to the basket. Don't worry about Kravish blocking your shot. If he fouls you, go to the line and get 2.
Missed opportunity for the running Rebels.
Bennett working hard. He's got great position inside. In fact, he had better position earlier. Now he gets the ball. Watch, he double clutches. Just take it up hard.
And that's something he did against Cal in their first meeting, but Cal has responded well. Their big men have played extremely well. They have the lead and the ball. Timeout. Game reset. No more timeouts for UNLV. Dave Rice taking his final. Cal has a couple left. You see UNLV in the double bonus. And Cal is a foul away from going to the line as well. And they have the possession arrow. Cal basketball. And it is a 5-point Cal lead, 2 possessions here with the ball.
You know, I really think what you do here is you foul early in this possession to give yourself, you're down 5.
They're going to let it ride. Approaching 1 minute and a timeout. Cobbs is really upset with Tyrone Wallace. He was barking at him while he was dribbling.
Well, I think he wanted him to get out of the way. Wallace is only a 55% free throw shooter. Interesting.
Set up for a great finish. Cal timeout. They'll have the ball when we continue. Well, even though we're in San Jose, this is part of the East region. The team that survives to the Sweet 16 will end up in Washington, D.C. in a potential matchup with Indiana if they carry through. Alan Crabb and Justin Cobbs are the 2 players Cal wants with the ball in their hands. They are Cal's best free throw shooters. Clock under a minute, and they're going to let them play. You think UNLV would go for a foul here? Not the case. Shot clock at 10. Solomon, and that might just do it. Big bucket, 7-point lead for the Bears. Going the other way. Foul on Bennett. Cal ball.
And how many dunks have we seen from Cal tonight? They've done a great job getting the ball inside to their big guys who have been close enough that they can't miss.
And now Alan Crabb is fouled. And this pro-Cal crowd just 45 miles from Berkeley sensing another game here at the NCAA tournament. Oh, Solomon. He's been part of a great front court so far today. Crabb and Cobbs, they've gotten theirs. But you think about Solomon, Kravish, Thurman, and how about this?
There's nobody on the line for Cal, and yet Crabb gets his rebound.
Oh, my.
Oh, my.
The only one there. Crabb's a great free throw shooter.
And you know, I think what could have happened is the guys from UNLV this late in the game, it's always a 2-shot foul, and they thought it was a 2-shot foul, but it was a 1-on-1.
Cobbs is an 86% free throw shooter. And that one misses. UNLV trying to get some threes up quick. Reinhardt steps back. They're all over him.
All you have to do now is guard the 3. The 2 cannot beat you at this point in the game.
They get it in, and Wallace is fouled. That's the last guy Cal wanted with the ball in his hands, but a 5-point lead here. Wallace, a 55% free throw shooter.
He's going to be going to the line for 2 shots, however, because UNLV now in the double bonus.
UNLV lost to New Mexico in the final of that Mountain West tournament. Another missed free throw. And it's a two-shot foul. Well, Cal letting UNLV hang in there. Again, Montgomery backs everyone out. Wallace the only Cal Bear there. Well, the shot at air ball. So it's still a two-possession game. It's 5 points. A deadly three-point shooting team. Game clock down to 18. Bennett underneath. And a foul and a chance at a three-point play. Oh, my goodness.
You're still in a situation here. Nice rebound by Bennett, but let him have the two. Now you give him an opportunity for the three-point play. That's the one thing you don't want is threes at this point. Now it becomes very interesting.
He's 6 of 9 from the free throw line tonight. Got it. A three-point possession for UNLV. They are within 2.
You got to foul immediately.
Yep. And Cobbs will head to the free throw line. Well, Cal looked like they had UNLV in the dirt. Had a 7-point lead.
Well, they've missed a couple of free throws. Crabb missed one. Now he got it back, but then Cobb missed it. Now Wallace missed a couple.
Justin Cobbs, transfer from Minnesota. He's a junior. 86% free throw shooter. Got it. Clutch free throw. And now a free throw make here can make it a two-possession game. And Mike Montgomery takes his final timeout. Well, just when Cal had stretched it to 7, they allowed UNLV back in. A big free throw coming up when we come back. Neither team has a timeout. Cal still owns the possession, both in the double bonus. Sitting there with a 3-point lead for Cal and a free throw coming for Justin Cobbs. Why the timeout for Mike Montgomery here with one free throw left?
I think he just wants to make sure that he's organized. He's got plenty of confidence in Cobbs that he's going to knock this in. But he just wants to go over with his guys what you do in either situation, if he makes it or if he misses it.
Alan Crabb, 17 points. Cobbs has 11 and a chance to make it a two-possession game here. Cal was up 7 with 45 seconds left after that dunk by Solomon. But missed free throws, and UNLV still a puncher's chance.
And Mike Montgomery's telling his guys if he misses and it's a three-point game, he wants him to foul.
And he missed.
He wants him to foul.
Will they foul? And they do foul. And that's going to send UNLV to the free throw line. It's always talked about, the debate. Should you foul? Should you not? Crabbs, no. He just let an opportunity to put the game away.
Now, one of the things I want to show you here, Brian, most guys try to miss it in that area, and that's not where you should miss it. You should try to miss it so it goes to one of the corners so you can go get it there and get it three. So he's got to make the first one, though.
Anthony Marshall, the lefty, no. Back to the drawing board for UNLV. Missed free throws, a huge story for both teams.
Again, he should try to get it on the rim so it goes off to the side, because all the Cal guys are going to be going into the lane, and the guys from UNLV can run to the corner and get the ball and make it three.
Keep an eye on Reinhardt and Deshaun Jones, the 2 3-point shooters. Makes it a 2-point game. 1 out of 2. Back in is Hawkins. Cal by 2 on the ball. A foul means 2 free throws. Cobbs has it, and there's the foul, and that's the guy Cal wants on the free throw line. Their best free throw shooter, and a chance for redemption for Justin Cobbs. And again, he has a chance to salt it away for the Bears.
And again, obviously, if he only makes 1 of the 2, then Cal has already established that their strategy is going to be to foul.
Oh, he missed again. These pressure free throws.
Well, now you have an interesting situation. If he misses this one, of course you can't foul, and UNLV has plenty of time to get the ball up the court and get a 2. They don't have to make a 3.
So they get a 3-point lead.
Mike Montgomery's telling his guys, hey, if he misses, don't foul.
Cobbs got it, big one.
All right, now he's telling him he wants him to foul.
And there's the foul. And Marshall goes back to the free throw line. Well, an eternity to get to the finish line here. It's agonizing for these coaches. Loser going home. The winner will advance to Saturday. They'll match up against the winner of Syracuse and Montana, which is coming up next.
Of course, what puts everything into play here is whether or not he makes the first one.
Anthony Marshall back on the line. Got it.
Right now, the strategy is to miss the second one, and you don't need a 3. If you're UNLV and you can get the rebound, you don't need a 3 in this situation, but you take whatever you get. But first thing you got to do is get the rebound.
Solomon and Kravish down low for Cal. The free throw is good, and it's a 1-point game.
And if you get a foul right away,
the freshman Wallace will put the ball in play, looking for Cobbs and Crabb. And there's Justin Cobbs. No whistle. Clock running. Here's Crabb. And a foul with 1.6 left. Dave Rice is wondering why no foul call.
he's wondering it very loudly.
Right there, not called. And precious seconds running off. These two teams went right down to the last possession, December 9th. Same thing here. Allen Crabb, money.
And of course, the strategy that UNLV elected to follow was to make both free throws and try to foul right away, because they felt with 6.5 seconds they had plenty of time, but they didn't get the foul as soon as the ball was inbounded.
Hits them both.
And now you got to be careful that you don't foul somebody in the act of shooting a 3.
Solomon has it, a foul. And Cal, a free throw away again. With 0.7 left, Solomon heading to the free throw line. 19 points for Allen Crabb. Top scorer to Pac-12 as a star today.
Trying to get the ball down the court to Dijon Jones, but Solomon does a great job anticipating the play and coming over and stepping in front.
67% free throw shooter, can make it a ball game for Cal. Missed.
Well, now 0.7 seconds is enough time to throw the ball in bounds and get a shot.
It is March Madness.
Be a miracle, but of course it makes the point moot if he makes his free throw.
Solomon, short, chance, Bennett, and that's it. Cal advances, the 12 seed. They beat UNLV. And their season continues. The Pac-12, first conference to have two 12 seeds from the same conference advance in the same tournament. Oregon upset Oklahoma State. They're moving on to the Midwest. And here in the East, it is Cal. What a ball game.
It was a very interesting ending to that ball game. Not as efficient as either coach would have wished, but Mike Montgomery will take it.
A 3-point victory for the Cal Bears. Awaiting the winner of Syracuse and Montana. That's our next matchup coming up on True TV. Well, tournament games continue now on TNT, TBS, and True TV, of course. We'll be back with Syracuse and Montana coming up on True TV in just a moment. We'll send it to our studio after these messages as the Cal Bears hang on and send UNLV packing.
Well, a big win by Cal. Let's start with Allen Crabb. And your game today was just terrific, but a little nerve-wracking there at the end. What was Coach saying in the huddles to keep you guys calm?
You know,
He can't repeat it.
No, but we just had to collect ourselves and make our free throws. We knew that if we made the free throws, you know, we could have had the game over a long time ago. But we were trying to execute, foul them so that they couldn't get any attempt at a three because, you know, we've had, you know, times in the past where teams have made threes and tied the game up, so we weren't trying to take any chances.
You and I talked yesterday about playing, in essence, at home. How much did you guys feed off the crowd tonight?
You know, they came through big for us. You know, I see a lot of people in the crowd, you know, with the Cal attire on, so, you know, they came in big for us.
Well, Coach, let's talk about the interior points tonight. How big was that in this guy?
Well, we were able to get penetration, and when we get penetration, Rob's one of the best finishers around. He'll catch and finish. He's a big, strong guy. And in fairness to Rob, he wants it as much as anybody. He really was motivated, and he finished, and it was huge because we had some other guys not finishing. But if you can get in the paint, you know, which, of course, they got to guard Alan Crabb and Justin, and he got in the paint, Rob did a great job of finishing.
Was it really the defense that fed the offense, and how worried were you in the last few seconds of this game?
Well, I think the zone bothered him. That's the most zone we played all year. We tried to play made-missed early on. I thought our transition back to man wasn't very good, so we kind of went more zone. They hurt us with an action in the first half. We tried to adjust. They shot it very well early. Then they started missing some, and I think maybe that's what turned it around for us.
Does this answer perhaps a little lack of respect for the Pac-12, you think?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if we're ever going to solve that, you know. We just got to do the best job we can. It's a heck of a league. There's a lot of good players, a lot of good coaches. We'll just keep pushing along.
Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you.
Robert, if I told you this morning that you would be the third guy scoring points for Cal today, what would you have said?
I probably wouldn't believe you first off, but, you know, we didn't want to go home, and guys were getting into the paint. You know, Justin Allen, they're fast guys, they're hard to contain, and I just made myself available when the big would step up, and I just did what I do best, and that's dunk.
Congratulations on a big game.
Yeah, thank you.